Inside the Birds is back. What's going on, everybody? Jeff Mosher, Adam Kaplan here for a game wrap-up podcast. The Eagles lose Sunday in Las Vegas. They lose 33-22. The Eagles have now lost 2 straight, I think 6 out of 7. It's not looking good. This was a game, Adam, that a lot of people felt, and we talked about this, where you're finally past that difficult part of your schedule. It's supposed to lighten up. The Raiders are a good team, but they're not previously seen as invincible. And the Eagles go out there and they just have very little answers for Las Vegas's offense. And that was really troubling. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We'll get into the offense, the defense, the coaching decisions.
I could speak 2 hours about how bad this performance was, but I feel your pain, folks.
Jumping off bridges. That wouldn't be good.
I feel your pain.
What's your takeaway? Well, I always start with the takeaway. I have a couple of big picture thoughts, but I'm curious about yours.
I would say that, it's the sad thing about it is they finally did what we asked them to do. Come out, give Hurts a chance under center. They did that. They came out and run the ball, maybe a little bit too much, but they still ran it, okay? Beggars can't be choosers, right? Yeah. And I felt good like everyone else did. And when it was 7-0, I'm like, wow, okay. Sanders gets hurt. That certainly hurt them. But the story is the defense. The offense had its own issues, but the defense is just an embarrassment. I don't know what else to tell you. The overview is pitch and catch. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr pitches, the receivers catch it. Game. That's what it was.
I mean, they made him look like Joe Montana out there, just in that rhythmic passing game. Nothing had to be real deep. It was just like he did whatever he wanted to do without Darren Waller. I mean, that was ridiculous.
You said it exactly right. Without Waller. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah, I think that was the toughest part, is that you're watching a game and you can just see it over and over and over again. And I have some stats that are going to be really tough for some people to swallow about how easy it was for the Raiders offense to be able to move the ball. So to follow up, though, then your big picture takeaway was that they were really lousy on defense, or was it something even more than
I would say they were outcoached. First of all, they were outcoached. Okay, the head coach play caller let things get away from him. What a shock. He seems to every game. Mm-hmm. And then defensively, Jonathan Gannon is nothing like I was told he would be. Nothing other than he plays zone defense. They play so soft. They might as well play. As you said to me in text, they might as well play in Reno. They should play in Henderson because that's where the Raiders train. That's how far back. This is just ridiculous. This guy, I've learned my lesson now. What I'm told and what I see in training camp doesn't necessarily mean that's what we're going to see when the season starts. Yeah. Oh my God! Since the second week on, what the hell's happened to this guy?
Well, doesn't that beg the question? What? And see, it makes me think a little bit, and sometimes I'm guilty of overthinking it. But did Jonathan Gannon, who we saw do so many different things in training camp, realize? What we're seeing is what we're seeing. That's just offense versus defense in camp. But did he, in the tape watch and the studying of what he's doing, realize that he just doesn't have the players to do what he wants to do?
It's possible. Most coaches will say, okay, let me try it, and I'll just, if it's not working, I'll just. Right. It's like he threw his hands up after Brandon Graham got hurt. I can't do anything. Okay, you notice after Graham got hurt, the defense regressed immediately. Like it was bad very, very quickly. But you can't say one player should not have that kind of effect. Graham's absence obviously is a major issue. He's coaching, like you were saying, that he thinks he has these limitations. We can't do anything, so we got to back off. We're going to play super bend that don't break. It's not bend that don't break. It's super bend. Push us back. Our linebackers will be 5 to 7 yards back. Hopefully, watch me on YouTube, folks. You see what I'm doing? I'm praying. Hopefully, when we get inside the 10, they won't score. That's the defense. It's an absolute bleeping joke. I won't curse, I promise.
I won't be surprised if Rodney McLeod or Marcus Epps have some real estate that they purchased in Lake Tahoe now because they got a good view of it while they were 300 miles away from scrimmage in that game.
That's ridiculous. What the F is going on with this guy? I don't. All those coaches that work with him tell me he's brilliant. Was that George Costanza opposite day? This guy's terrible.
Well, look,
better than this. But I think
into my big picture kind of parlays into that, and I'm a very confused person right now. So I say this not in defense of any coaching. I agree with you on everything, but we're not often told things just because. We're told things because they're true, because people saw something in, whether it's the defensive coordinator, anything, whether it's saying something good or bad. It's what we get from people we trust and respect. So either everybody, as you just said, missed the mark, or we're missing something. And then I do wonder, and I've thought this already, Adam. I mean, I said this going into the year, but I may be even more steeped into it, is that the coaching might be an issue, but personnel is probably the bigger issue here. They just don't
I don't agree.
A very good defense. How can who's good on defense? And you just said
hang on. Josh Sweat. Does Josh Sweat still play for the Eagles?
Yeah, has Josh Sweat ever had more than 6 sacks? Did we maybe crown
they don't
him
even
as Lawrence Taylor a little too early?
Hang on. The way that they use him, it's like he's not even on the damn field. This 4-eye technique that they use, which he plays inside, you're not taking advantage of this guy's skill set. And as I said before, weeks ago, after he signed his extension, and when we started, the information we're getting was trickling about how they're using him. I'm like, do they not understand this guy's an upfield pass rusher? This is not going to work. This is a total waste of this guy's talent.
He did get some pressures in the game. And look, I mean, you're right. He's not being used the way he should be used. Oh. I'm not absolving coaches, but I'm telling you, this personnel is not that good. It's just not. In the back seven, there are a bunch of
steady this bad, though?
And Darius Slay. No, that's the point I'm making, is that they're not this bad that they should they should face almost 0 third downs from the first to the third quarter. No, of course not.
What's that stat?
That's where I put the coaching stat on.
Give him that stat you had was unbelievable. I almost fell over.
I was going to save it for later, but I
wrote now because I want to cry.
In my observations piece on Inside the Birds from they had 3 third downs that they converted on the first drive. Okay, and then from that point until early in the third quarter, they did not have to face a third down. And it was a span of 37 consecutive plays the Vegas Raiders ran without facing a third down. So it was basically first down, second down, first down, second down. And that just shows you
what the hell is that?
How easy they were doing what they wanted to do. I mean, they just dictated the whole tempo.
Yeah. They didn't do anything to his tempo, right? It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
This guy, Jonathan Gannon, if we know that there are other teams that wanted him as their defensive coordinator. You sure as hell wouldn't know, by the way, he's coached this season. Since week 1, it's progressively got worse. To the point now, I highly doubt they're thinking of replacing him, or it's Sirianni's call. Mm-hmm. But this thing, I don't know what this guy is doing. I mean, this is the softest defense in 21 years of covering this team. It's the softest defense I've ever had here. This is embarrassing.
It's bad. It's definitely bad. And to your point, Nick Sirianni did say after the game that he was going to chat with the defensive coordinator, and he said that he felt that they were too passive on defense and that something had to change. So we'll see. I mean, I think he said that week 3 after the Dallas game too, and things changed for a little bit, but just not enough. But again, here's my point on the personnel thing. Again, Jim Schwartz didn't blitz a whole lot. When he did, right, we would always say, you got to blitz. When he did, he would get shredded and torn apart. His defenses would. So I'm telling you that, yes, maybe he can do some things to get his pass rush going. But on the back end, those guys are just going to give up big plays. They're just not that good.
Hang on.
So, yeah, maybe you're right that they're not this bad. So they lose, say, instead of 33-22, maybe they lose 24-22 or 22-17.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. They don't do anything to help it. They don't disguise at all. That's what this defense is predicated on.
I totally get it. I'm just saying I don't think we're coming down on the personnel enough as well. And not really the players themselves. They're only asked to do it. But, I mean, obviously the front office, the missed draft picks, the inability to draft at certain positions. I mean, you went into the year knowing this guy's going to play a lot of two-shell defense, and your best move was, let's go get Eric Wilson, a coverage linebacker. Come on. So, I mean,
and he was here for the scheme.
Yeah, but he's for the coverage element of the scheme, the whole back end, not for the stopping the run part of the scheme.
But again,
so, I don't know. There's a you have to acknowledge there's a disconnect. I mean, I don't know how the coaches can explain that this is what we're going to do, and the front office can go and give them that personnel to do it with. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'll have stuff. Let's get started with the offense because I'm pulling my hair out. I just when they got up 7-0, I was like, wow, this is we've been waiting for this all season to make some commitment to run the ball, particularly to help the quarterback out.
Right.
Sanders looked good. They got him involved early. Unfortunately, got hurt.
Yeah.
They got Hurts under center. I mean, we were like, man, this is great. I mean, I don't know where this came in. I don't know if someone got in Sirianni's ear. We're like, great, finally did it. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, I know. It's like you know that expression, this is why we can't have nice things. I mean, the Eagles finally go under center. They finally get Miles Sanders involved. They have a really nice opening drive. And because they run the ball and go under center and mix it up, I think Hurts only had to throw 3 passes on the first drive, completed 2 off play action. By the way, guys were nice and open for him, including the touchdown on a crossing route to Kenny Gainwell, who was right there. All you had to do is hit him in stride, catch the ball, touchdown. And then, of course, on the very next drive, Miles Sanders gets hurt. And that's just that. Literally everything that happened Sunday between the Eagles losing, between Sanders finally running and then getting hurt, to Zach Ertz having a 47-yard touchdown for Arizona.
Catch and run.
Right? I mean, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, it was like anything that could happen good for the Eagles or bad for the Eagles happened. But there's a lot. There are also some decisions, and we'll get into everything. Like you said, we'll go with the offense first. We'll talk running game. First, I want to remind everyone, when you want to get an advantage over your sportsbook, download BetQL. It's the only app you'll need to make smart bets. You know about their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets a year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. And the reason why you should place the bet, they've got everything from spreads to over-unders and player prop bets. And if you don't want the model, they've got all the necessary tools for your research needs, from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineup and injury breaking news, and the leaderboards to track your success. So go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, download BetQL. You can even go to try.betql.co/ITB to get started. You enter the promo code ITB at payment checkout, and you'll get 25% off their subscription offerings. And they've got this sportsbook offers page that if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers, you can get at any one or at one of the many sports books listed. So don't miss out on the chance to beat your sportsbook this fall using BetQL. All right, so offense, running game. So I wonder this. First of all, we have to figure out how hurt Miles Sanders is going to be.
Yeah, gotta look good.
Secondly, when Miles gets hurt, then you only really have a rookie in Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott. It always seemed strange to me, and we've talked about it, but then let it die that they never even have Jordan Howard. Like, he's on the practice squad. They don't elevate him just for these kind of situations. And again, I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference, but if Miles is going to be out for the long term, I don't think you can have just Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, and like Justin Huntley or something. I mean, you're probably gonna have to use Jason Huntley. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to use.
Oh, Jordan Howard obviously would be up. Yeah, no, that's a lock. I mean, that's why he's here. He's here exactly for this situation.
Right.
Sanders got carted off. It's his right ankle. We don't know if it's a high ankle sprain or not, but you have to just assume Monday morning here he's not going to play this Sunday against the Lions. It'd be shocking if he did. Basically, he was carted off, and he couldn't come back. It's a sprained ankle for a running back. Can't be good. And Jordan Howard is on the roster. He's on the practice squad specifically for this reason. If we'd said this, if Sanders got hurt, based on the way that Jordan Howard looked in training camp, he's earned a chance to be on the 53 and get some carries. But that's the thing now. We should get some carries. Who the hell knows from game to game what Sirianni's going to do with the play calling? It's impossible to figure this guy out.
That's a great point. I have no idea if he's going to look at that first drive and observe the success and want to do it again, or just say, you know what, we ran the ball, and what do we got out of it? We got a touchdown drive, and then in the end of the day, we still only scored 22 points. So what did that do for me, right? Because he might think that. I don't know.
Well, I thought that it was interesting because I think it was five runs, 3 passes on the first drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Oh, we'll see if this continues. And then unfortunately, Sanders would get hurt not too long after that.
Right.
And then we got to the disjointed part. Goddard, who I thought would have a huge game, he did okay. But the problem was the first 3 quarters, they got ball control. They were really behind very much, and then the Raider, Josh Jacobs got hurt with a chest injury. He looks like he was going to have a huge game.
Yep.
Kenny Drake, who's explosive, took over, and the Eagles just couldn't get the ball back. When they did, they were just so off their game. The lack of a physical presence at the receiver position is so obvious. It's just you can't. They don't. We're not talking about Tyreek Hill here and Mecole Hardman, where you can get away with it when you've got Travis Kelce.
Right.
Goddard's a nice player. He could be very good. We'll see. But you need someone opposite Devontae Smith. They just have to do that.
Yeah, and look, Devontae, I didn't think was the most physical of receivers as well. I mean, he didn't. There were a couple of balls, and we'll talk about Jalen Hurts now, that were not placed well, that need to be placed well. That you could say, if that ball's in a better spot, that's a catch. But you could also say, a guy who's a first-round pick, a top 10 pick, a decorated wide receiver should make, when you get two hands on the ball, you should make the catch. So there was that slant, I think, on the second or third possession that was slightly behind. That's on Hurts. It's a bad throw. Absolutely. Now, could he have caught it? Maybe, but that's still on Hurts. And I know that some of these throws, Adam, are not that far off, whether we're talking about the overthrows, the underthrows. But the bottom line is, in a timing and rhythm-based offense, those little hair off is going to make the difference between getting a first down or punting. And too often, his throws are not placed in a position where the receiver can make the catch in stride, move to the change, get first down, and keep going. And that's just the reality of what we've seen for 7 weeks.
Yeah, so you never want the pass target to slow down. That pass you were talking about was off. It was a bad throw. You do never want to make your pass target reach behind him. You want it in front of him. That's called pass placement. Make him go for it. Make him go get it. That's a timing throw. That's his throw, by the way, he made in that when I brought up the Arizona game 100 times on the show, when he was really good last year in that game. Not everything, but a lot of timing throws. For whatever reason, this offense, as you were saying, it's absolutely correct. We haven't talked about this in a while, but this offense is predicated on timing. It's a timing-based, old-school West Coast offense without calling it a West Coast. It's just a timing-based offense, and this is what they want. And Hurts, unfortunately, this season, for whatever reason, has been unable to do it. I don't have an answer for you. We could just tell you what the tape looks like from the people we talk to and our own eyes and your own eyes when you guys watch it. It's painful watching this offense, man. It's they cannot sustain anything. It's first series. I'm like, yeah, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh.
And by the way, we're not going to do that thing like we've done in the past where we say, hey, man, they showed fight. They scored some points in the fourth quarter. They almost made it a game, because we know that this is becoming a habit of just piling up during garbage time.
I mean, they're not giving up.
Yeah. The Raiders are just like, they're happy to let you march down the field and complete a few passes and run a little bit. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So no credit for that. So the quarterback wasn't very good. And to be honest with you, this is the first time in a while where I think we can say the quarterback was under duress. I mean, those two defensive ends
play well
for the Raiders were. We talked about them in the pregame show.
You called
they were good. They were better than even I thought they were great. They were really good and tough.
Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue. Oh my, his get off. Whoa. Oh, Mailata. I know he wasn't on the injury report this week, but he didn't play particularly well. Lane left late. Lane Johnson left late. They struggled with the speed. They gave up pressures. It was not clearly one of their best games. That's a little bit concerning. That was surprising too. I got to give Avant Cosell credit. They called a lot of stuff out on our pregame show that might happen, and unfortunately it did. Yeah, for the positive, but mostly the negative. Some things to look out for. And then Sirianni did not have one of his better games. I mean, I thought it got away from him. Again, with this identity thing with the offense here, they don't have one because the head coach decides he's not going to have one. He could say whatever he wants. He is so disjointed with his play calling. I don't know what we're getting from series to series. I thought we were going to get. I understand, like, Miles Sanders isn't there, your bell cow, but Boston Scott's not bad. He's got some power. He's got some physicality.
Right.
He's like, oh, we can't do it. Let's throw. Okay.
Okay. I know. So here it becomes 7. At one point it was 7-0, right? Eagles score first.
They're up.
Right. Yep. And then they get the interception. That was huge. I thought that had a chance to be a great turning point in the game. Okay. And I don't know that it was Sirianni's fault, though, that this started to get away at first, because then the Eagles get the ball back at their own 4. That's when Jalen Hurts misses Devontae Smith on the right side, and it looked like it was sort of thrown to the ground, and Devontae tried to get it, but couldn't. And then he does hit Devontae for 8 yards, and he starts to then he gets a run, then he gets a 7-yard run. They started to use him in the running game with Miles Sanders, right? Yep. So things were going well until, of course, Miles got hurt. And there was a significant play there. I think there was a penalty there. They were facing 3rd and 13, and that's when the pass rush got up on him, and he was incomplete to Gainwell, so they have to punt. So to me, they were moving the ball fairly well there. They had gotten from the 4 to the 24 in just a couple of plays, but when Miles got hurt, that really hurt them because that was a 3-yard loss, if you remember. That's what it was, yeah. And then obviously the defense gives up a touchdown, a really long 9-play, 72-yard game-tying touchdown. So then it was really incumbent upon the Eagles to come right back and do something positive. And is that the possession? No, I was going to say that's not where Nick's made the questionable decision on 3rd down, but we should talk about that really quickly. I was torn because I feel like I have seen some coaches, Adam, when they get that penalty on 3rd down, elect to push a team back because it's harder to make the field goal there, right? So you let them have – it's hard to complete 3rd and 15 in the NFL. It really is. The percentages are under like 13%, something very, very low, and then you've pushed them further away from the field goal. But I still thought they should have just let it be 4th down and let him punt there. I mean, in this situation, you don't have to worry about a field goal.
Raider territory. I mean,
right. You're going to punt.
Like, how in the world do you accept that penalty? It would have been 4th and thinking 3 at their own. I got to look at the exact. I know it's within like the 40 to 45-yard line. I'm like, I wasn't checking social media. Was anyone defending this?
I have not checked social media. I do not.
No, because typically, I
imagine it was not defended well.
Okay. Typically, when you have a controversial decision by a head coach. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. The funny thing was, did you see the referee? The John Vilma and was it Kenny? Was it Kenny Albert? I can't remember. Was it Kenny Albert?
I can't remember. No, it wasn't. I forget who it was, but yeah, it was definitely Vilma.
Okay, so anyway, they were shocked to announce the team, and then the referee. Oh, okay. Philadelphia is elected to accept the penalty. I think the referee caught the referee by surprise, as we all were. Mm-hmm. There was just a mistake. I mean, it's just This is a rookie head coach. Your defense just did its job. You're going to ask him to do it again. Mm-hmm. But the way that they play soft cover, it's another thing though. This is another thing. If their defense had shown us this season that what they've shown the ability to get off on 3rd down, although they don't have a lot of 3rd downs because they play so soft. Mm-hmm. But if they showed us that they're physical and tough and reliable, you know what? Okay, it's not the worst decision in the world. This is so bad if you consider how bad their defense has been.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to. Coach, don't keep asking him to go to the well again. I'm telling you, you're making a mistake here. I'm like, what? Right when he did, I was like, no. I screamed. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? What? I'm like, this may not work out well. I'm like, oh no.
Well, luckily, Avonte Maddox bailed him out anyway, right, with the interception.
Yep.
So my point was that on the next drive, they make it all the way from there to the 37 to the Las Vegas 37, and then what happens on 3rd and 3? We get the Landon Dickerson false start. Now it's 3rd and 8. And Oakland tees off. Las Vegas tees off, and Ngakoue sacks Hurt for -7. They got a punt. So I don't have an issue with Sirianni's offensive play calling to this point. That sack, obviously, Jalen Hurts takes it. They got a punt, and here's where I think it got away. Then all of a sudden, the Raiders get the ball back again, and they do what they did for most of the late first half and second quarter. They just march down the field. They go 96 yards, and they score a touchdown. So now it's 14-7. Right? Then Gainwell fumbles. That was huge. That's not on Nick Sirianni. Gainwell fumbles. Back to Las Vegas. They march down the field. They get a field goal. So now it's 17-7. So now you're down 10 points, and your offense has touched the ball for 7 plays since it was 7-7.
They got ball control. They did in a big way. The Raiders, those in my notes here. That was one thing I noticed. Mm-hmm. They couldn't get any rhythm going because they didn't have the ball in the second and third quarters.
Right.
And it really got away from Gannon. He just had I just cannot believe the lack of adjustments. This guy he looks like a novice out there. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the guy was supposedly a brilliant position coach. Mm-hmm. This is again an example of them not having a senior defensive assistant to help him. This is killing him. not having some guy who's done it before.
Yes.
It
was not good. And then so it goes 17-7.5. Well, guess who gets the ball to start the second half? The Raiders.
Oh, how about that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
Of them deferring?
Surprise on kick.
The onside kick. Yeah. So here's where maybe it got away from Sirianni. Look, it's always easy to say it's a terrible decision when it doesn't work.
I liked it. You know.
I wrote
Lions do it.
I felt like at that time was not really the best because they're on the road. They're down by 10. They had zero momentum. But if they get it, I suppose it could. I didn't like the way Las Vegas was moving the ball so easily on them, and then you give them a half a field, and sure enough, they go down, score a touchdown, and now it's 24-7. So when I look at that from 0-0 to 24-7, I don't see a whole lot of Sirianni screwed up other than, the decision that wound up not hurting them too much at the end when he gets bailed out by the Maddox pick, and maybe the onside kick wasn't the perfect time. But to me, this was just what you said. You got the ball controlled on you, and your offense didn't have the ball much, and when it did, you were behind from the start.
I still don't think they had any kind of rhythm other than the great first series, which is terrific. I mean, Sirianni called a good game there. Now, I know what you're saying, but my problem is for 3 quarters, you have 7 points against an improved defense compared to previous years. They're not that good. I still think some people might disagree, and I certainly respect it, but this team is way more talented than 2 and 5. I just feel like
that. I don't believe. I predicted them to be
I still think
you thought that they were a 7-8 win team this year. You said that yourself. Well, how many did you think they were going to win?
If they keep playing like this, they're going to be a 4-win team. This is
that is true. That is true.
This is a poorly coached game, man. This is, obviously the head coach is responsible for it, but he's not responsible for the defense. The defense coordinator is. He's
right.
I mean, I thought without Waller, I'm like, I know Foster Moreau's a pretty good backup tight end. They made him look like Travis Kelce out there.
They made him look like Darren Waller.
I'm telling you, man. And I mean, geez, this is it's just so. It's really hard to watch this coach defense. It's we're supposed to be objective here, but I'm in pain watching this defense, man. They don't do anything they do nothing to make the quarterback think.
True indeed.
Derek Carr is clearly he surveys. Safeties are back. Middle of the field. Foster Moreau, here you go. Hunter Renfrow, here you go. Bryan Edwards, inside slant, touchdown, here you go.
Yep.
Zay Jones, well, Zay Jones, we got you on a 9. We'll get you down on the right rail. We got you for 43 yards.
It's like they were drawing it up in the sand right before, and everything just worked out. Yeah, it was bad.
Did whatever they wanted. I mean, come on, you have there was no resistance by the defense, and I don't want to say that the players aren't at fault here. Obviously, the ones that are playing, but once again, what is this defensive coordinator doing to help his players? I just think they're better than this. I respect. If you don't agree with me, that's your opinion. But they're not. I
certainly think they could be put in position to be better and make plays. I don't know that makes them better than 2 and 5, no matter what. But I agree with you. There's got to be better use.
Give yourself a chance.
That's fair. Absolutely. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code ITB. Bet just $5 on any NBA team to win its game, and you win $200 in free bets. If that team wins, you win with promo code ITB this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an authorized sports betting partner of the NBA. So let's talk a little bit about the defense a little more, because he did try something different at linebacker, I suspect, in just watching it. And we alluded to this. You did a good job of alluding to it on the pregame show, that you thought there might be, I don't know if shakeup's the word, but like usage. You said different usage with linebackers. And I saw TJ Edwards out there on first down a lot more than it's been. I mean, the last few games you've seen on first down, they'll be in that 5-2 front with Bernard Avery on the line and Davion Taylor and Alex Singleton. But then I saw times where it was TJ Edwards instead of Singleton, but then Singleton would come right on. So we've talked about this. They've got like 6-7 linebackers. They're playing them all, but the result is the same. Listen, we have to be fair about this. This is a personnel issue. They don't have good run stopping linebackers. I mean, now could Gannon maybe get them flowing towards scrimmage right, at the snap? Sure. I mean, could he play them a little closer? Could he play his safeties in a little bit more? Sure, but you and I were on the phone at one point in the fourth quarter or third quarter when the game was out of hand, and we were watching a run play where the Eagles actually stacked the box on it. I think they had 8 people there, and they still gave up like 4 yards on the run.
So I said, I said, look at the alignment.
What's he supposed to do? Put all 11 guys at the line of scrimmage just so you can see if they can.
But the alignment was bad. I mean, I could see it off TV. I'm like, wait a minute, you're not stacking it the right way. What are they doing here? It just. I can imagine being an Eagles fan right now. You got to be beyond frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a 10-win team. I still think they have a chance to be 7 and 8 wins because the schedule, man. The schedule doesn't matter when you don't play the right way, when you don't coach the right way.
Yeah,
help your guys out. And I didn't hear Sirianni's press conference Sunday night, but I'm glad, as you said, that he said he's going to have a talk with Gannon. He probably should have said that publicly, but Sirianni says some stuff sometimes. Like you go, wait a minute, what did he just say?
I mean, I'll try to find the exact quote. I don't know if he made it. He said that he's going to pull him aside for a quote, but for a chat. But what he basically said was he felt that they were too passive and that they're going to have to change some things up, which is his way of saying he's going to be talking to the guy. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to change, it's got to start with Nick first to relay that to Jonathan Gannon.
Sure.
So. Here's the exact quote. Everyone's got a piece of that. We have to challenge more. We have to do some different things to help our players. Absolutely. Which is basically what you said. Help your players out. Help your players out. Doesn't mean, look, they could come back with some blitzing. They could come back with standing up Josh Sweat. That doesn't mean they're going to be good, though. But I would like to at least see it.
I just want to see what we saw in training camp. I was so excited. The first time I was there, in August, you heard stuff. I missed maybe the first week because I was out west for camps, and then I come back. I'm like, this is like really cool. I was like a kid. I was like, look at them. They're standing them up. They're just, they're actually dropping. They're disguising a little bit. And I was laughing. I said to someone who was on the sideline with them, like, man, Schwartz would never do this stuff.
Right.
Well, then we get to the regular season. I'm like, oh, this looks like Jim Schwartz's defense, but even softer. It's ridiculous.
Well, the thing to remember in training camp is you work on a lot of situational stuff, and a lot of that stuff that you want to do that's creative is when you have the advantage on 3rd and medium or 3rd and long. And again, there weren't any for the Eagles defense. They didn't force any, so they're on their heels the entire game pretty much. And my God, they made Jacobs and Drake look like thunder. It was like the old with Brandon Jacobs and who is the other Tiki Barber or Ahmad Bradshaw? I don't know.
Yeah, Ahmad, good call. Yeah.
And who's the other guy? They had Derek Ward for 1 year who ran for like 1,000 yards. Or something
Dietrich was it? Wait, no. What was Derek Ward?
Derek Ward. Yeah.
Derek Hospital Ward.
Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, Kenyon Drake, we thought they were going to use him as a pass catcher against the zone, right? Because he's got good hands and he would slide out to the flats. No, he's just there bulldozing up the middle with the rest of them. And by the way, credit the Raiders. They're smart. I don't know how often they use a fullback, but they used a fullback a lot today.
Yeah, Alex Ingold, number 45, I think. Yeah, it's just the whole thing. It's ridiculous. It's just I'm frustrated just because we have to talk about this team every week.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was so painful because they were so bad and inept and just really bad. They basically, we knew they had to start over. We knew it was coming, but this is just
right.
And this is like, again, you and I certainly don't agree on this. I just think they're way better. Again, what way better means, whether it's 7 or 8 wins, whether it's 5, it's just a matter of usage of personnel.
Mm-hmm.
The personnel defense is not being used correctly. I understand the linebackers aren't good enough. They're also playing way too far back. It's another issue that I think people around the league have on the great Eagles tape. And you're not Ryan Kerrigan and Josh Sweat and some guys we're expecting to hear their names. We're not hearing them. That's another problem.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. We talked a little bit about this in our pregame show. Now the Eagles are now 2-5. They have one more game for the trade deadline. I would expect some movement. I would. I think with the way that Carson Wentz is playing, and on likelihood, the Dolphins are really bad. I am just so shocked that the Dolphins are as bad as they are. That has a real chance to be a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles could. I mean, I understand their drafts of recent years have been very good overall, but they're going to have a chance to just stockpile picks. And if you don't think guys should be here, you should just trade them. Simple as that. If you think they're at the end of career, trade them.
Yeah. Do you think if they lose to the Lions, that's got to be a sign that they need to do that? Or
I think now
do you think
2-5.
if they lose to the Lions, wait, look, do you think if they lose to the Lions that Jeffrey's starting to get concerned about his coaching staff, and maybe I don't want to get rid of players who might be good for me when my coaches are the issue here? Because Jeffrey wants to win every year, even when he's transitioning.
But he said it, and let's go back to what he said. He said it was what did he call it when he had that press conference himself? Did he say it was a transitional period, or what did he call it?
I think he used the word transitional. Yeah,
right. Transition. Yeah. So that means you're turning a leaf. You're not. Is it a restart? No, but you know that you're not going to be good enough. That's kind of. I remember talking to John Schneider. Told me it was a reset. He said we don't rebuild. When we know that we need to get sort of rebrand the team, we don't restart, but we reset. He wasn't going to go all the way back to zero. Maybe it was to 45 number, 50 number, but they weren't going all the way back to zero because they didn't need to. And he was right. They were resetting while they were trying to win, where this team would like to be competitive as they reset. Right now, they're not very competitive. And as you said earlier, the score means nothing to me. The only thing I'll say about this coaching staff, at least the players don't quit on them. They do try. They didn't quit on them. That's at least a positive. Bar not, this is just an abomination. This is just a bad football team.
It is bad. It is bad. So, by the way, we talk about Detroit and how they're winless, but they seem to fight hard. I mean, they were leading the Rams at one point. They actually have the type of team that could beat the Eagles because they run the ball. They want to go heavy up front. They have two pretty good running backs. They got a good tight end, right? Yeah. I mean, they've got Swift. They got Williams to run the ball. They got Hockenson. And I haven't looked at the stats on the quarterback Goff. I know he's not great, but he's not usually a high turnover guy, correct? Like that's the whole Eagles philosophy. We're going to play you soft, and try to force you into a turnover. And clearly there was only one, and it was early for Carr. And after that, he was fine. He was in cruise control. So I'd have to check out and see how Goff is doing from that point.
I was just getting back to Carr. I was just shocked that from a coach's standpoint, when the guy's getting on a roll like he is, why aren't you doing something to disrupt his timing? They did nothing. This is what I don't understand about this Gannon. Where in his background does it say that you need a coach like this? Like, who did he? No one taught him to coach like this. It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. This guy.
All right, Goff has 6 interceptions, so he is this year a high turnover guy. He has 8
touchdowns.
He had
2 against. He threw 2 picks against the Rams. But just finishing off Gannon, I've been rough on him because we're going by the results. We're going by what we see, what we know every week. When we talk to people, look at the Eagles tape. There's people from around the league, and they're like, because they all know that he's supposedly a very smart guy, and he might be innovative. But where the innovative stuff, the post snap disguise, not seeing it. We saw it a little bit earlier. There's been like a smattering of it. The D-line stunning, and we saw a little bit of it, but not nearly enough. All the stuff we were sold was like a bill of goods, man. We're not getting it. This is if I happen to be Jeffrey Lurie, and we know that Jeffrey was certainly involved, and he gave his voice on Gannon in the interviews. I don't think Jeffrey thought he was getting this.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Probably thought they'd be a little more competitive in some of these games. All right, let's put a bow on this. First, I'll tell everybody, go check out our friends at phlsportsnation.com. They're enhancing the fans' experience with their coverage of Philadelphia sports teams. They are for the fan, by the fan, so check out all that great fan content on phlsportsnation.com and find them on Twitter at phlsportsnation. And we'll pause real quick for a word from our other great sponsors, including our friends at Sky Motor Cars. And if you happen to stop into Sky Motor Cars out there in Westchester, PA, make sure you tell them Adam and Jeff sent you. You will get a great deal. Steven Nelson got a nice deal. He's driving a car from Sky Motor Cars, as we've mentioned before.
Nice spot. Yeah, nice spot, Steven. He did one for Sky. Yeah, he got a good car, too.
Yeah. We're actually trying to work to get him on Inside the Birds TV pretty soon. So hopefully we can do that, too. He's had kind of a very, understated career, Eagles career so far. Sort of like Ryan Kerrigan. They're out there, but there's just not much going on. He's not doing a bad job. He's not giving up a ton of yards, but
he's playing better than Ryan Kerrigan.
Yeah,
definitely better than Ryan Kerrigan. Kerrigan, He can't be this bad. That's another thing. I know he had the broken thumb, but man, look, that's the thing about this defense. Before we get out of here, obviously Hargrave has been showing up now. Not enough in this past game, but other than Hargrave, okay, I think McLeod has shown that he's back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Slay's having a good season, but is there anyone where we go, okay, or any guys who are saying, okay, he's really playing well every week, other than Hargrave, where you go, okay, I guess Slay is playing pretty well.
I actually think Avonte Maddox, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see the tape. It seemed like he played a pretty good game, but then again, they give up so many yards across the middle. I'm not sure. And also, a nickel's job is to be a good run stopper as well and know the run fits. And I don't know. Doesn't seem like anybody's doing a good job of stopping.
But coverage-wise, yeah.
Yeah, but coverage-wise, sure.
But by metrics, Maddox has been one of the better slot corners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But oh boy,
other than that, no. Your answer is no. You haven't gotten a lot of playmaking talent shine through. So would you? I mean, again, a pass rusher makes his money, and I think Fletcher Cox even said this. I don't get paid to blow up screens. I get paid to sack quarterbacks. You know, those guys. I'm sure if you did data research on when sacks come, they usually come on 2nd and long and 3rd and long. How often were the Raiders in 2nd or in 3rd and long in the game?
I know.
So when they were passing, they were doing a lot of 3-step, 5-stop, just bing, 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 bing. It's really not a guy like Kerrigan's or Sweat's fault for not getting to the quarterback when
but you got to move up.
Releasing the ball.
You got to move your linebackers up. You got to move your safeties up to take away those zone shots.
Yes.
You got to adjust as a coach. And Gannon's just not seeing it, man. He's just not, and that's. I don't know how this works. Like, I don't know who's going to get in his ear other than the head coach who he reports to.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to do some adjusting here. Then you play this Sunday. They play Goff, Jared Goff, and the Lions were incredibly scrappy. They're the only team that hasn't won a game.
Right.
They're in every game. They're in every game, and they had a lead against the Rams late 3rd quarter. They wound up losing, but they give the Rams everything they could give them, and the Eagles they're going to have to play a lot better to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, the Lions can hit the Eagles where it hurts them, which is a running game up the middle. You know, Deuce and who's the head coach again? What's his name?
Kneecaps Campbell.
Yeah, Kneecaps. You know that they're designing all sorts of like old school power runs. Up the middle. They just absolutely. Oh, and Anthony Lynn, of course. You know that they're going to try to run the ball about 55 times.
Like they're going to hide the quarterback. It's the hide the quarterback ball. Yeah, that was an old school term that when you don't want your quarterback throwing a lot, you hide the quarterback, just run it. I don't know, man. It's tough, man, watching this.
Yeah, I mean, if the Eagles offense can't do something against the Lions defense, though, then it's going to be a really, really, really long year.
And it's funny when you say that, right? The Lions, if you unless you really, really follow the NFL and the Lions closely, you won't know most of these players on defense because they've lost a bunch of players on defense. They're Darryl Worley's on that team. You might former Eagle legend who never played for them. Penn State's Amari Warrior. I think he went there. Amari Warrior.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anzalone used to be with the Saints. Tracy Walker's a good player, but Cliff Raymond, who most teams would say is a 5th receiver, their leading receiver.
Wow. 5th receiver, their leading receiver.
Yeah, they fight, man. They fight you at tooth and nail. This should be a very competitive game. It would not shock me if the Eagles lost, but onward and upward, Eagles. What's that?
They have lost their last 2 games to the Lions, so I mean, it's it's not like the Lions were really good the last 2 times they faced them. So anything can happen. Man, anything else we want to put a bow on? We talked about the cars or the tight end. No, I think
we've covered everything. Kind of
a pretty easy, an easy culprit here. I mean, you could see it in front of your own eyes what the problem was, and it was the fact that you have to watch that happen over 4 quarters, just the same dam being broken over and over and over again on defense.
What I mean, it's frustrating. We're all novices, right? You and I, fans watching, we think we know football, right? This guy, again, is supposed to be brilliant. Well, you couldn't tell brilliance from the hole in the wall with this guy. This guy's not. He looks like a junior. He looks like a novice, a junior coach who doesn't quite see it. you were talking about those numbers earlier when we started the show. Those numbers that got that their lack of whatever, so many plays without a third down.
Yeah, 37.
Okay, 37.
37.
What do you? I mean, Jonathan Gannon is coaching this.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a feel for how to slow this down. He's like, what is he doing to slow this down? It's just, I'm incredulous over this bleep.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've thought about. I'm chomping at the bit to get to his press conference this week, just to ask him while it's going on, what's going through his head. You know, I know coaches are stubborn. Question. They believe that, and I wonder how much. I wonder how much that interception in the first quarter that they got on the first drive factored into his thinking. Like, if we're going to get another one, we're going to get another one. Okay, they got one touchdown. They tied it. All right. They got another touchdown. They're ahead. But we can, on the next drive, it's going to happen. And just never I don't know, because that's his whole philosophy, right? His whole philosophy is teams can't do this routinely, march up and down a field without stumbling, except for when they play the Eagles.
Yeah, I really have nothing else to say other than Derek Carr is not as good as he showed. I like Carr, quarterback. He's a upper half.
Yeah, it was easy for him. It was easy for him. Yeah. All right. All right. That's going to do it for that. If we talk any longer,
I can't take it any longer. Thank you.
You know, making people miserable.
I need a nap after this. I'm like miserable.
We will be back Wednesday with our film review, which I'm sure will be as inspiring.
Oh, I can't wait. I want to see how right we are. Sometimes, you know, when we go off, I wasn't quite right about that. But then we're told about what it looks like. We go, all right, we're on the right path. I think we're probably going to be on the right path on this one.
Probably so. So Wednesday, 6 a.m., we'll have that. And, of course, Q&A, I'm sure we'll be on fire on Thursday. That comes out Thursday. 6
can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, with Quentin Michael and Jason Avant. And that'll do it for this edition of Inside the Birds, the leading podcast in Eagles Intel. Thanks to our producer, Hunter Brody, who I'm sure has pulled every single last hair out of his head. And he's got a lot of hair by now. So thanks. Check out his work on YouTube. It's called Sports Talk with Broads. Check out broadsmedia.com and at Broads81 on Twitter. And as always, we thank you for flying with us inside the bird.